Why hello there, fellow crisis managers. Radaman here. Thank you for tuning in to DarkSwitch. Episode 4. The Plan to Evacuate. Nighttime. Rangers confirm. This place is safe for now. A few hours here won't be enough for the fog to reach those taking shelter. So you found one activation point, or evacuation point, and we need to find 4 more. Now, I already have the 50 wood in order to prepare for the awakening the seed, but I'm not going to stash it just yet because we're going to probably burn it for fuel. I'd rather stock up more. So this scale here is like the threat of the fog. It's kind of like the thermometer for how bad the fog is, and right now it's like a 6 to 8-ish level. It's like sitting at 6, which is why it's creeping up higher in the tree than like it normally would, posing a threat to everybody. All right, we can redeploy our rangers in about an hour. And up top here is fear. How fearful the people in the colony are. So it's essentially threat and a response. Okay, the scout team is resting for 2 hours, and then we'll send them back out. And I'm going to dedicate that 50 wood to the seed now. So we have plenty of leftover. Alright, site number 2 being scouted. I think all the ill, this is the last 5 of the ill, are being tended to now. But I think the ill is actually the ranger team. That's why they're not recovering, because they're on deployment. Which might mean that I want to disband the group once they're done scouting this area, having them recover in the hospital, and then send out like a different team to meet the necessary goals of no citizen ill. Okay. Second evacuation point established. And then as soon as this scout team returns, I'll disband them so that they can seek medical attention, and then we'll form a new team with 5 new rangers. So I am firing some rangers from fishing duty so that there's 5 free rangers ready to go in the new scout team. Once they're done resting, I can disband. Okay, all 5 of them should be reporting to the hospital for treatment. And then I'll create a new 5. Hopefully a separate 5 from the scouts that I just freed up from fishing. If I have extra wood, I wouldn't mind researching watchtowers for defense. That costs 45. Yeah, let's dedicate the resource for it for now. and have the engineers in the engineer room study that technology. So are they healing? I'm not certain. I mean, if they're not, oh well, there's nothing to be done about that. It's just a bad synergy between two separate goals. So we have 1, 2, and 3 sites left to scout. And we don't have a lot of time to do it. So I'm really trying to get the scouts moving on this. There's a research relevant to scout speed, which is like the marching speed that they use. So I'll research that as well. Scout party is ready. Because having them recover is less important than like scouting out the evacuation sites. So I'm prioritizing the evacuation sites. The other thing I'm going to probably need to do is I'm going to stop collecting fish from this site so we can collect metal. And the reason for this is the scouting process requires metals, and we're running out of metal. So I'm going to want to allocate more people to collecting the metal so that we have the materials for the camps. Because basically the rangers are setting up like temporary little camps for people to huddle in, which is why there's like an added cost for materials beyond what you'd normally see. All right, site number 3 is done. 2 more. We did research Watchtower Tech. I don't know if I want to use the resources for it right now, but if we do have excess resources, I'll consider it. Alright, scout team, sorry, I know you're sick and need rest, but too bad. Scout there. And that's the second to last one to scout. Because we only have 17 hours to do it. So it's low-key urgent. Shelter from monsters. Fog kills slower heal. You're gonna make it. Okay, so there's one more spot. And we'll make it within the time frame, I think. And then, of course, after that, after we've scouted out, we need to send people out to these sites to shelter. And I've been waiting to do that, to do it all at once, so that we have like a full workforce up until the moment that we plan to evacuate, rather than to evacuate piecemeal. Everyone's going to evacuate all at once, which I think is a little bit more efficient for the evacuation plan. The other research that I was referencing was the quick march, which allows them to march faster, increases the efficiency of scout teams. I'll research that as well. So the scout team is heading out to the last site. You failed to overcome the disease outbreak, so I'm gonna lose some food as a result. So this is what happens when you don't meet the expectations for the secondary missions. Instead of fear increasing, I'll just like give up some food because we had a lot of extra food, so it's fine. And again, the only reason I failed that is my scout team was the one that was sick, and I just couldn't spare them any rest. So they were on like a death march, if you will. Here they are, building the last of the camps. with like only 7 hours to spare. So yeah, I really couldn't have rested them. All right. Next up, I'm going to pause the game for a moment and evacuate everyone to these external sites all at once. Meaning that like all of the work sites within the base will basically ramp down to nothing because everyone's evacuating. Okay. So you can see mass evacuations of people flooding to these evacuation sites that we have set up. And then like almost all of my workplaces are probably going to have like no one working there because almost everyone is evacuating. So our actual functional population has like dramatically decreased as a result. And I'm going so far as to furlough everybody everywhere. Run, everyone, run! You don't need to stick around for my sake. Alright, evacuation is complete. Which seems to be the right call. That fog ain't stopping. The council chamber has now been overtaken by fog. And I think the last of the evacuees are about to get to their camp. Everything is ready. Why are you still here? You are in charge now. We can't leave people unattended. Go with them. That's an order. Messer, I am a simple man, but no fool. I will stay here and help you. It's just that my children are in Saraga now, and I want them to have a chance too. Archon Valfidus, he promised that he would save everyone. You are a worthy son of Sarago, Madden, and your children will be proud of you. Shine brightly in this final moment. The fog reached the upper tier, and its creatures crept even higher. But the houses were empty. Tessin managed to activate the installation. Ellerin was illuminated by a gigantic flash. The fog disappeared for many kilometers around. Everyone above sacrificed themselves to give others a chance to survive. Most of Ellerin's inhabitants managed to escape to the ground. With fear, they looked at the settlement captured by flames, and they prayed to the light that the fog would not take them forever. Is it all really lost? Power, wealth, lineage, all turned out to be chains that bound me to a dying city called Sarago. I traded a seat on the council for a fleeting hope in this absolute darkness. Let history call me a madman or a traitor. Labels mean nothing in the face of annihilation. If we do not find the answer in Ellerin, then Sarago has already fallen. Its towers still stand, but they are merely tombstones whose inhabitants simply have not yet realized they are dead. Valfidus, it seems the reports were true. Ellerin appears to have been burned completely and deserted at first glance. Then why did we rush here from Sarago? To admire the site? We completed a 2-week journey in 6 days. I will compensate you for your losses, Captain. This project is important, not only to me, but to all of Aurelians. You know it's not about the money. I risked losing Sunburst and the entire team 3 times. And my Sunburst is this settlement, Captain. We need to figure out what happened here. Let the Rangers examine everything. We need any information we can get. Deploy the Rangers directly from the deck. The Sunburst will be our base. So, Valfidus came from the council. So, lore picture here, Valfidus was an important man in the capital. And the capital was basically the single remaining city that had yet to fall to fog. But it doesn't have a solution for the fog. It was basically just a grave site, as the game stated. And Ellerin was a research facility to try to find ways to combat the fog. And it had a secret device at the top of the tree, which activated, pushing back the fog many kilometers in every direction, but then subsequently burning the entire village down. So as you can see, everything that I built, minus some of the basic infrastructures, are ruins now. They're wooden ruins that all have been torched. So we need to repair the council chamber and clear away the debris on the upper platform. So council chamber being repaired. That'll take about 9 hours. And then some of the people on the Sunburst, which is this vessel that came from the capital, are going to be instructed to clear away the debris on the upper platform. Additionally, I'm going to have 8 toilers grabbing mushrooms, so we have at least some food income. And this is what our settlement looks like now. Corrupted buildings, scorched buildings. And the lower platform is completely gone. We have a lot of free workers, so I'm going to have them clearing away the debris for a little bit of wood income until we can build up some more infrastructure to do more than that. Okay, the council chamber has been repaired, and the top debris has been cleared. I found a page from the Ethnarch's logbook in the council chamber. It was badly burned. It read, "They learned about the project. The shroud has gone wild. More and more creatures are swarming within. Launch the apparatus to drive them away." Looks like Tesson's handwriting, but he was clearly in a hurry when he wrote it. My Archon, reporting. These are the bodies below with all the bones broken. The citizens, they jumped from the platforms. I have a theory about what may have happened in Ellerin, but to make sure, I'll need to climb to the crown of the great tree. My Archon, the toilers first need to repair the platform and restore the path to the crown. The toilers need time, and you should rest after your flight. Next goal, to build a platform, assemble a scout team, board the Sunburst, and to inspect the burned houses, and to clear away to the crown of the tree. So here is the destroyed mechanism, which leads up to the tree, and we're going to have to repair it. And then aboard the Sunburst, when we have 5 free rangers, we can assign a team of scouts. So I've just freed up some rangers, and they're going to prepare and start to investigate the burned ruins themselves. Okay, the scout team will be done in just a few seconds. And we're clearing away the wooden debris down here. Getting rid of these burnt buildings for resources. Alright. The Luminaris crown is repaired, and the scout team's ready to deploy. So let's deploy a scout team down here. As far as building a platform goes, let's go to the platforms and hit build, and we're going to build the lower platform back again. The Rangers came across survivors on the way. The poor things had been under the shroud for over 2 weeks. It's no wonder they're all insane. Their incoherent babble is impossible to understand, but they will get better. My Archon, the survivors, they talk about the horror that attacked them, but nothing useful. Considering how many days they've been in the shroud, it's not surprising. Build them some housing. The captain won't tolerate lunatics on board for safety reasons. And healing quarters won't go amiss. I feel these poor souls are not the last to be harmed. So, build a healing quarters. And I do indeed have enough money for that, or timber, I should say. So let's get a healing quarters here. Right above the lower platform. And then we have a lot more people, so I'm just going to continue to clear away these old wooden ruins, as it is the only source of wood that we have at the moment. But getting actual industry up and running, of course, is going to be like important in the long term. But we're not quite there yet. Rangers are coming down from the tree. The smell of soot mixed with the stench of rotting flesh assaults the senses. Dozens of corpses lie among the skeletons of the charred buildings. A quick examination reveals that they died of various causes, most of them suffocated in smoke, some were burned alive, and some others fell to their deaths. Many bodies were turned out to be eaten by wild animals, a horrifying sight. Alright, we've got healing quarters now. And I'm going to free up some more craftsmen to have a max amount of healing quarters as possible. Here we go. We have a fully staffed healing quarter. And the scout party is ready, so we'll scout these burned out piers next. The other thing we're going to need is a means to make food. So I'm going to build a cookery here. So we can start to turn the mushrooms that we forage into edibles. Well, not edibles, okay. Phrasing. Into rations. And that way we can feed our people. On top of all that, let's go ahead and, before the game even prompts for it, get a lumberjack hut, get it built. Let's put it here. And then I'm going to move the flame guard from where it was to adjacent to the hut. And then this flame guard, I'll move to, I guess, over here for now. To repurpose some of the debris that can be salvaged. Okay, we got people healing. Good. Clearing away more of the settlement remains. And then some of these forest houses are being occupied, but they're like, fairly corrupted. Actually, you know what? Let's try this. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put flame guards in there. And the scouting party is ready, so let's scout. I don't have enough rations at the moment, so we're gonna have to pick up scouting in a bit. This building is the fishing pier, and it's gonna take a little bit longer to clear that than the other buildings because it's bigger and has more wood. So we got some mentally ill that I think are the ones going through the healing quarters now. But solving a lot of our food crises is going to be the next big task. So here is the cookery, and we're obviously going to cook food rather than eat raw mushrooms, because raw mushrooms are not going to do us very good in the long run. So, changing around. The Sunseed. It exists, and it has awakened. I've been chasing this legend for a decade. It is scorching hot, and how bright it is. Brighter than the rays from the most powerful solaric concentrators. With so much effort, so many victims, let us believe that this was worth it. And if the worst awaits us, the Sunseed will be our only chance of survival. Messer, your orders? Huh? Oh yes. There ought to be all-time security here. Don't let anyone in. We also need to build an engineer room now. I'm actually going to hold off on building the engineer room for a bit, so that I can have a better infrastructure for resources. So what I want to do is I want to build a warehouse here, or maybe here. Well, warehouse here to provide storage for the wood, to increase our production capabilities of wood. So that we can afford stuff like the engineer room later on. My Archon, some of Ellerin survivors have started to come to their senses. And what are they saying? Tessin sent them into the Shroud with supplies of food and wood. They were told that they would be there for only a couple of hours until testing of the apparatus at the top of the Great Tree was complete. Is that all they remember? Or they don't remember. Prolonged exposure to the Shroud causes confusion and amnesia. Personally, I'm surprised they even remember that much. Okay, I'm also building a second lumberjack to fuel our economy. And with the Shroud fog retreated, I'm actually going to try to recover these buildings with a flame guard. I'm going to see if we can do that. Alright, I think it's going to be more important for us to get wood, not mushrooms, even though we have a bit of a food shortage, just so that we can, like, continue to build up our infrastructure. So I'm going to have the mushroom collectors be that of, like, the scouts, and not the toilers. And at the moment, I'm going to turn off the nighttime flame guards for the buildings that are for all the flame guards, because there isn't like a daytime fog at the moment. And then once we have a little bit more resources, I'll do the engineer room next. I know I have a lot of homelessness too. That hasn't escaped my notice. Alright, engineering is 50 wood. We only have 60 at the moment. So I know we're cutting it a little close, but let's stick the engineering up there and hope that all of our toilers cutting down trees can keep up with the wood demand. The other good thing is a bunch of the people are recovering from the healing quarters, so we don't really have any physically sick at the moment, allowing our workforce to expand as well. Once we have a little bit more rations from our cookhouse, we can investigate the Signs of Life as well. We haven't had the rations for that yet. So the last two slots in here, I'm just going to like fill with whomever, because we don't have the people for it. Now that the everyone's been cured, I'm going to reduce the amount of people working in the healing quarters, at least for now, and put them to work in the engineer room. All but two. And send the scouts over to the Signs of Life near the metal collection spot. All right, looking good. With the little bit of extra wood that we've got, one of the next really important things to do would be to reestablish Fisherman's Shed out here, now that that building has been broken down. Oh, and Signs of Life, we just got more people. Perfect. Except for, of course, it's going to be tricky to feed them, but, like, to be figured out. So let's get the Fisherman's Shed back to where it was. And we'll put a whole bunch of people to work collecting said fish. And there's additional survivors claim that some people hid behind the tree. So periodically what we're doing is we're getting points of interest to be able to add to our population as we have the means to be able to accommodate them. My arch, Messer, well, not Archon anymore, Messer Valfidus. The messenger bird has delivered an order from the council and a letter to you to the Sunburst. It seems that all who stay in Ellerin will be considered as a traitor. You know as well as I do that the seed is more important than any petty squabble or staying. But this is mutiny, Messer. I cannot arrest you. I'm lack of the authority, but I must return to Sarago and report what I've seen. Nigel, old friend. A decade I've known you, and your loyalty to orders is no secret to me. But you must understand, yes, we've been branded traitors. But we're the ones who will save Sarago. Disobeying a direct order from the council is a death sentence. But I have also served you faithfully for many years. When you were an Archon, I will consider your words. Okay, I think it's, think about what to write in response. I didn't expect things to take such a nasty turn so quickly. I guess they were just looking for an excuse. So here's some choice. Top choice. The parchment bearing the seal of the High Council of Sarago says, "My beloved husband, by decision of Aurelius Sarago, you are removed from your governance of the city from this day. You are stripped of the rank of Archon and all privileges associated with it. You must immediately return to Sarago for trial. Oh, and all residents of Ellerin settlement must return to the capital. Otherwise, they will be declared rebels and executed. Your wife and new Archon of Sarago, Eklara." Option number 1, we need to stall. I'll write that I'll return. Option number 2, I will not lower myself to answer. Option number 3, send a bird droppings in a tube rather than a letter. It looks like stalling. My dear Clara, we've been married for 22 years already. I know I have caused you much pain, and I blame myself for it every day. The time will come when you will understand what was on the scales of these difficult decisions. But do not confuse politics with revenge. The lords are using you for their behind-the-scene games. I believe we can still make this right. I must bring the light back to Sarago, even if I have to tear it out by the roots first. So at the moment, we are not making a lot of food, and we don't have a lot of housing. So those problems need to be resolved before I really go out looking for more refugees, I would say. Which would include adding another fisherman's shed over here when possible. I don't want to use all the remaining wood, though. We have 56. I don't want to use 50 of it for that. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer until we have a little bit more excess, because it's about to be nighttime and I don't want to like waste all the remaining resources in doing that. Yeah, sending bird droppings would have sent a message, I guess. But we chose not to do that route. To our, wife or whatever. Come on, wood. Okay, we have enough for the shed now, I'd say. So at the moment, homelessness and hunger are the issues to tackle, and that's what I'm trying to tackle. Food first, because homelessness won't kill you, but starvation will. Fortunately, maybe because of the device, maybe not really sure, there could be like patterns or whatever, but the fog isn't as aggressive as it was 2 weeks ago, so it's pretty easy to keep it at bay now. On top of that, because we've kept these houses fog-free, due to this flame guard, they're no longer corrupted. And these two are becoming less corrupted over time because of the flame guard present there as well. Alright, the next thing to do over in the Fisher Shed, because we're getting the other Fisher Shed up as well, is to get warehouses, and then to get like warehouse infrastructure so that they have a supply chain connection back to capital so that they work efficiently, because there's only so many fishing spots near where we want to live, so we need to make them as efficient as possible, and that's not too hard to do with some wood infrastructure. Not a big deal. Well, I'm not really sure why this hasn't gotten built, but hopefully they'll do that soon. What does that mean, 70 ill people? No, 70 homeless people. 27 hungry people, but nobody ill. Oops. What? Oh, that bastard, stop him. It's too late, sir, they're already leaving. Darkness take you, Nigel. Will you ever use your head instead of just obeying? Flash the surrender Luminaris, but hold to board that cruiser for a moment. Look, the Sunburst is burning. So Nigel called for their urgent return back to the capital. The mighty cruiser crashed, engulfed in flames. That's how the Aetherius flying whale falls, pierced by harpoons. A terrible disaster. Why did it crash? And what does it pose? And does it pose a threat to us? And did any of the crew survive? We can send rangers to the rescue, but without Sunburst, we have no spare resources or rations. We need to rebuild the settlement. So here's a choice. Top 1, nobody could survive such an explosion. We need to think about ourselves. Fear increase 14. Some could have survived. We must save them. Fear increase 6. And one might assume that there's a resource cost to the bottom option. But it looks like you guys want to try to save those that we can. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to DarkSwitch, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Radamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Radamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow survivors.